So the next thing I want to quickly look at is, let's start working on our menu, our nav bar. Making it a little bit more like a nav bar rather than a list. So let's go back to brackets. And if we remember, our nav menu is what the class is called. So let's go dot nav menu, open brace. So I want to change the list style, and I want to just set it to be none. Okay. Now, first of all, let's just save that. You can see what that does. We'll do this one step by step for now, so you can actually see what this is actually doing to the menu itself. If we refresh that, you see that now we've lost the dots at the very beginning. So again, the first thing we've done, that removing that list style removes those dots. I want to set our margin at the moment to be 0, and I want to set our padding to be 0. Now again, if I just save that, we just refresh this page. And then what we've done, we've moved everything across so that now it's actually on the edge, like so. Okay, so that's the first part. Now our nav menu consists of an unordered list and then list objects. And what we need to actually do to style this is we need to actually start working on those particular items as well. So back to our style sheet. First thing I want to work on, I want to work on the LI element. So we've got nav menu, and then I want to actually work on the LI element within that class. So I could actually just work on all LI by actually just doing LI here and then open brace, etc. But this is saying that I want to actually work on the LI elements that are part of the nav menu class. So it's being very specific, and you can do that with CSS. You can actually be specific to the particular LI elements in this case for particular classes or IDs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them a min width, and I'm going to use 8em. Remember we said that em is a size in type, and I'm going to make them float left. Float just is talking about how you position them on screen. Again, we're not getting into the full details of these. This is how you actually do the code, and if you want to research more on these commands, then please do go and have a look. And then I'm going to set the margin on the right. And the thing about doing the margins, you could be margin as in all, like here. This is actually saying set all the margins to be 0. And here we're being more specific. We're saying we want just the margin on the right to be set. I'm setting that to 0.5 em. So the right of every LI element is going to have a margin of 0.5 em. And then I want to text a line, and we're going to do that to be centered. And what that's going to do is it's going to align our text to be the center of the LI element. Save that. Take a look at the page, and there we can see now we have this home, about, and contact us all in a row now. So it's actually looking more like a nav bar. You will notice that this welcome to my page has now gone up along that, and This is to do with the float. The problem with float is that once you use it, every element is then, after that, is actually affected by this float. Okay, so float starts the positioning, and then every element after that will be affected by that position. And the way we fix that is we actually have this this thing called clear. What we do, we actually create a class, so something that you can use lots on the web page, because remember we said ID can only be used once in a web page, class can be used lots in a web page, and we tend to call it clear. And I'll do this now so we can make the nav menu look nice and clean. And all we do is we say clear and both. What that's doing is actually clearing the float element, so that it actually resets back to its original spot. So whenever we use this class, everything after that is now setting the float to be back to normal, not left, right, or however we set it. Again, I don't want to go into too much detail about this. This is actually about showing you how you create the page, and then you can go in your own time and do some little bit of research on this. So if I save that now, and then what I have to do in the index page, I need to actually have a div with that clear in it. So it's at this point we want that clear to be effective. We want the header to be for the nav menu to be fine, and then what we want to do, we'll have it in here because we don't mind it being in the header. We could actually have it after the header, but all we're going to go is we're going to go new div and then class equals clear, and then we can just close it straight away because we're not going to do anything within that div. We just want it to clear the floating position. And then if I go back to the web page and I refresh, we can see it's gone back down onto the next line because the floating position has now been cleared and it's all nice and looking more like a navigation menu and a nicer web page. So that's how we start to style our navigation menu. We're going to do a little bit more on this later on, but at least it's actually looking more like a navigation menu now.